Emily, are you all right? My wife had left for a long business trip a few days ago. Upon hearing news of a significant earthquake at her destination, I hurriedly contacted her. Then, my wife replied, "Huh, what's going on?" Emily sounded as if she hadn't experienced any earthquake at all, leaving me quite startled. "Oh, well, as long as you're okay, I'm relieved." "Really, James, you are so silly." Emily ended the call with a laugh. As the dial tone echoed, a question lingered in my mind. My name is James. I'm married to a wonderful woman named Emily. We're a couple living together, dreaming of having children someday. A child resembling Emily would definitely be adorable. And if they take after you, James, they'll certainly be handsome. I used to think we were quite the lovey-dovey couple. Imagining having a child and picturing the life ahead filled with laughter. However, years into our marriage, we were still not blessed with a child. I'm sorry, it might be my fault. Emily, who was trying hard in our fertility journey, was deeply saddened. No, it's not just your fault, it could be mine too. James. We had talked about building a warm family with children when we decided to marry. But now, that dream seemed far from reality. Emily, who started fertility treatments, was having a tough time. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Emily. Maybe the baby won't come to us because I can't make them happy. That's not true. Despite the hardships, let's focus on the joy of having a baby and endure for now. Thank you, James. As Emily began her treatments, I started mine as well. Yet, we were still unable to conceive. We were half resigned, but if by some miracle we were able to have a child, we decided to save money together with that faint hope. Thus, Emily continued to work hard in her career even after we got married. When work got busy, we hardly spoke to each other. Even when not busy, the lack of children after years of marriage made our communication dwindle. Fertility treatments were not cheap. We were wrestling with the decision of whether to continue paying high medical costs for a child whose arrival remained uncertain, or to stop the treatments altogether. Such worries had also descended upon us. We wanted a child, but work was busy, and the medical expenses were daunting. The accumulation of small things led to us rarely being intimate, even though we shared the same bed. Even when I initiated, Emily's response was often lukewarm. Emily. Sorry, James, I'm just tired. Right, of course. Swallowing the words, but we both have the day off tomorrow, right? I quietly fell asleep beside Emily. In the midst of our hectic days, I received a message from Tom, an old high school classmate. It was unusual to hear from him. Tom and I often fought over Emily in high school. While rivals might sound noble, we weren't particularly close. Our competition for the same girl didn't lead to a friendly bond like in some stories. Hey James, it's been a while, hasn't it? Tom's voice was as cheerful as ever, echoing in my ears. I couldn't help but think he hasn't changed a bit since high school. He was always the joker, the complete opposite of me. How's work going recently? Work? Yeah. Why are you asking about that? Come on, just tell me. Well, it's normal, I guess. But what about you, Tom? What are you up to now? Me, I'm just floating around, doing whatever. Is that okay with you? Well, you know me, I've always been like this, living off the ladies. I remember that now. Tom wasn't particularly handsome, but he was incredibly popular since high school. It seemed like he never ran out of women to date. He had this come-and-go attitude towards relationships, never sticking to one girl for too long. I even think some of his relationships overlapped. And it seems Tom hasn't changed one bit from those days, which is quite disappointing. I was suspicious of his sudden interest in my job, considering we weren't that close. "So, how are things going with Emily?" "Why would you ask that?" "I couldn't handle it, man. Marriage, being with just one woman." "You're amazing, James. Give me some tips on keeping a good marriage, like how to maintain a good relationship with your spouse." From the tone of Tom's voice, it was clear he had little to no interest in the topic. It felt like he was just mocking me or probing for information. I didn't feel like responding further. Especially since my relationship with Emily wasn't going that well, I didn't want to risk revealing any vulnerabilities. As I started to dodge the question, Tom quickly lost interest and ended the call. What was he thinking, suddenly contacting me and prying into my life like that? Even since high school, he's been an enigma. I felt it wasn't quite right to discuss this with Emily, leaving me unsure of how to deal with these mixed feelings. That's right. Suddenly, someone came to mind. I pulled up the messaging app and quickly sent a message to Alex, an old friend who knew me and Tom from high school. Seeking an objective opinion, I immediately reached out to Alex. "James, it's been a while." Hearing Alex's familiar voice on the phone brought a bit of relief. "Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been?" "I've been good. You sound a bit down, though, James." Being longtime friends, Alex could almost instantly tell how I was feeling just from my voice. "Can you tell?" "Yeah, I can." Alex laughed heartily on the other end of the line. "Actually, I've been getting a lot of calls from Tom lately." "Tom? You mean that Tom?" "Yeah, that Tom. The one who fought over Emily with you." "That's the one." I honestly thought Tom didn't like you, James." "Oh, but maybe you don't like him much either." It was more like indifference than anything. When he contacted me, it was like, "Oh, Tom, huh? Hee, that sounds like you, James. But why would he do that? It's kind of scary, isn't it?" "Exactly. He's been asking about work, home, all sorts of things." "Wow, that does sound worrisome." Alex's comment only added to my unease. However, sharing my concerns about Tom with Alex did clear my mind a bit. It hadn't even been half a month since Tom started contacting me. "James, I'll be away on a long business trip next month." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, that's right." Emily didn't look at me as she marked the dates of her business trip on the calendar. "I see. What's wrong? Are you going to miss me?" "Not really." Emily turned around and tilted her head. Behind her, the calendar showed her birthday overlapping with the business trip dates. As my gaze wandered, Emily seemed to realize why I was hesitating and exclaimed, "Oh, my birthday, right?" "Yay, that's it." "Well, we can celebrate my birthday on another day. You've never missed celebrating it, so it's okay if we can't this year." "Yeah, you're right." I had already prepared a gift, planning to surprise her on her birthday, but it seemed that plan would have to be postponed. Well, I'll just have to wait until Emily returns. I was thinking I'd give it to Emily once she returned from her business trip. A few days later, Emily left the house with a large suitcase in tow. "I'm leaving. Safe travels, and be careful." "James, you worry too much." "Well, of course, I worry. I'll be back safe and sound, don't worry." "All right, I'll be waiting. Let's have a birthday party when you get back." "I'm looking forward to it." Emily left for her trip with a big smile. She seemed to be in a very good mood this morning. I guess business trips can be exciting, getting to visit new places and all. That's what I thought. It was some time after Emily had left for her trip when the news of a major earthquake broke. The earthquake seemed significant, and the TV screen was filled with frantic activity. Glancing at the news, I realized the earthquake had struck the region Emily was visiting. Worried sick, I hurriedly tried to contact her. And then, "Emily, are you okay?" "Huck, what's up?" Emily, sounding as if she hadn't experienced any earthquake, answered the call, leaving me quite relieved. "Oh, well, as long as you're okay, that's a relief." "James, you are so silly. You scared me." "Yeah, Emily was laughing cheerfully on the phone, but I was far from feeling lighthearted. After ending the call, my mind was about to reach a certain conclusion when it was halted by a message notification from Emily. "I'm taking a break at a cafe right now," she texted, along with a photo of a latte and cake. "Glad you're enjoying yourself," I replied, and a cute sticker came back in response. After that, Emily continued to send pictures that seemed to obscure her whereabouts, like shots of the night skyline. The location of the night view was indeed where Emily said she would be on her business trip, but that area was currently experiencing a blackout due to the earthquake. There's no way she could have taken a picture of the night view. Moreover, from the incident earlier in the day, it was clear that Emily hadn't gone on the business trip at all. So where could Emily be with all that luggage? And why would she go to the lengths of using a possibly old photo of a night view just to deceive me? To turn my suspicions into certainty, I contacted Emily's workplace, hoping that it was all a misunderstanding, that maybe Emily had just misspoken about her location, or that the photo of last night's skyline was accidentally an old one. If the company could just confirm that Emily was indeed on a business trip, I could be at ease. With that thought, I reached out to Emily's company, only to find out Emily has been on an extended leave for several days now. My hope shattered easily. So, Emily was. There's also no record of her being scheduled for any business trips this week or otherwise. Is that so? Yes. Is there something wrong? No. Does she have any close colleagues there? I have something I'd like to ask. Yes, of course. Despite knowing it was a long shot, I asked to be put through to one of Emily's female colleagues she often talked about. The receptionist seemed a bit puzzled by my request. After a while, a woman's voice came through. "Hello, this is she." "Hi there." "Oh, are you Emily's husband?" "Yes, that's me." "It's been a while." "Same here, actually. I wanted to ask you something today." I had met Emily's colleague just once before. Since we were acquainted, she was willing to listen to what I had to say. I asked her about Emily's recent behavior at work. Come to think of it, she's been on the phone a lot lately. Whenever she has a moment, really. On the phone. I think it's with a man, but definitely not her husband. What was his name again? Tom, I think she called him. I caught my breath. It was the moment when everything clicked into place. Is something wrong? No, thank you. I'm sorry for taking your time. Sure, no problem. After ending the call with her colleague, my doubts about Emily had turned into conviction. Emily was definitely having an affair with Tom. Moreover, they were currently on a cheating trip together. After that, I started to gather definitive proof of the affair, asking around Emily's acquaintances for more information. I learned that a man frequently visited Emily at her workplace during work hours. People inside the company who hadn't met me assumed it was me. I was even thought to be an inconsiderate husband for disturbing her at work. In my search for evidence, I examined Emily's personal belongings at home, but I couldn't find any conclusive proof. Without evidence, she could easily slip away. The doctored photos Emily had sent were of no use as evidence. And just as Emily was about to return from her business trip, which was actually a cheating getaway, I received a call from Alex. "Hey, James, Emily's not home right now, right? Yeah, supposedly on a business trip. I just saw Emily and Tom entering a room together. What? Alex worked at a hotel, and she was giving me a real-time update on Emily meeting with Tom. I'm heading there right now. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for them. Thanks. If I stormed into the hotel now, I could catch them in the act. I immediately got in touch with my parents and Emily's parents. Because I wanted Tom to face significant consequences, I asked Emily's parents to contact Tom's parents as well. We all agreed to meet at the hotel where Alex works. When I explained the situation, everyone was shocked and rushed over. Upon seeing me, Tom's parents started apologizing, but we decided to leave the apologies for later since it wasn't the time for that. Once everyone was gathered, Alex led us to the room. Stop it, Tom. Emily, you really are sensitive. We could hear such exchanges coming from the back of the room. It seemed like the two were in the midst of their affair. Without hesitation, I made my presence known in front of them, and Emily, seeing me, looked shocked, prompting Tom to turn around and notice me as well. Hello there. James, Dad, Mom. Realizing that not only I was there but also both sets of parents, Emily and Tom scrambled to cover themselves with the sheets. Their faces drained of color, and Emily looked like she was about to cry. Emily, how could you do this? I'm so sorry for what she has done to you, James. Emily's father was furiously scolding her, and her mother looked extremely saddened. James, I'm truly sorry. No need, but please understand, I will be seeking full compensation for this. After scolding Tom, his parents continued to apologize profusely. Oh, and Emily, happy birthday. I handed the trembling Emily the present I had brought. Confused by receiving a gift in such circumstances, Emily opened the envelope I gave her and seemed lost for words. This is... You know what it means. No, I can't. Take responsibility for what you've done. The divorce papers I gave to Emily were already filled out by me. All that was left was for Emily to sign them and finalize our divorce. Once the divorce was settled, I felt no attachment to the home we shared. Staying there would only make me remember Emily unnecessarily. So I decided to move. Emily took a long vacation for an affair. And all those phone calls and visits were with her lover, right? It's the worst, isn't it? Caught in the act with her lover, right in the room. That's pitiful. It seems Emily's affair became quite the talk of her workplace. Moreover, the rumors spread beyond her department, subjecting her to curious glances on every floor. Unable to bear it, Emily ended up quitting her job. Initially, she seemed determined to start anew with Tom, but his salary was low, and despite wanting to switch jobs for a pay raise, his qualifications made that virtually impossible. Moreover, despite just starting a new life with Emily, Tom showed no remorse and continued to flirt with other women. Gradually, this became a source of stress for Emily, and she eventually decided to break up with him. Hey, James, I'm sorry about the affair. Can we start over? After losing me and then Tom, Emily seemed to finally realize how good of a husband I had been to her. But it was too late. I had no intention of getting back together with Emily. Although I was single, I was enjoying it. I was content with my life. After all that had happened, I just wanted to live a relaxed life for a while.